Welcome back. Okay, first order of business today is to go to the hardware store and the auto parts store. We need to pick up primer, which I apparently had run out of. I did not know that last week. And seam sealer, which if I have any, we have an insufficient amount for an entire back of the truck. So those are the first two steps today. And we're on our way to the hardware store right now.
This is Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth.
All right, welcome back. Day 2 of the saga of the seam sealer of the bed. I've got young Grady mowing the backyard. We had some fun with the mower first. Didn't want to run. Apparently the battery died. Not a surprise. And then it didn't want to cut grass because I replaced a bunch of spindles and didn't get the belt back on the pulley correctly. I thought it was there. I didn't check it, but that's okay. So now we're cutting. So, all right, today is the seam sealer project. So we went down to our local O'Reilly's, not sponsored. Looking for sponsorship? Yeah, sure. Anyway, and I bought some of this stuff. Good news is that's all they had, so that's what I bought. They don't have the expensive white stuff anymore. My OG Newcastle O'Reilly's had one tube, but since it's wildly expensive, I went ahead and bought the U-Pole version. And we're going with that. Also came in our internal frame spraying stuff, internal frame coating from Eastwood, not sponsored. And it's the one where it has the tube. So you put the tube sprayer on there, and then the nozzle tip, which is quite fancy, by the way, it's brass. The nozzle tip sprays in all directions. So we're gonna hit a couple of panels with that. May or may not film it, but we're gonna hit a couple of different places where that is. One is this back, one is the back sill in the truck, which is notorious for rusting out. Working Axle did a video on it, some others did too. But anyway, it's a famous spot for lovely amount of internal to external rust. The other is the sills on the driver's side and the passenger side. Those are famous for it too. Let's get started, get underneath the truck and see what we're up against. Let's talk briefly about spray nozzles first though. All right, so we went to a lot of trouble to get the spray nozzles ready so it would spray paint or whatever. So if you remember the last video, I showed you that I drilled them out using these not fancy drills, and managed to get ones that would spray out correctly. I'm going to use primer first, start at the top and see if my pattern out of there is good enough to call it good for me, and that I get paint where I think I'm going to be needing it, and then we'll adjust it if that's not the case. Let's get started. All right, let's do this. Let's take this over there. Let's open the back. None of this needed to be filmed. I don't know why the camera's still running. Shut it off. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is remove the existing cap, which is easy enough to do. We'll put our modified cap from our original test unit on there. I've already done the La Cucaracha for it to shake it. And all right, let's get started. All right, so here's what we're trying to do. So we're gonna just basically spray inside our gap. Yes, you're asking a wonderful question. What happens if it drips out and goes into the bottom? Well, I covered the floor in cardboard, so I shouldn't have that problem. Okay, I can see that it's getting under there because it's popping out some of my welds, so that's encouraging. I'm over here now. Thanks. Oh, I'm over here now. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Let's hope that this works like this, like I hope it will. And we'll get it caught. We'll get the nozzle spraying there somehow. Because of the bend in the wheel well, that's not awesome. The idea is to seal it from the top and the bottom, so we're going to do this on the bottom too. Oh, that one's a tight one. And then we're going to seam seal this entire seam. Yep, I know, that's crazy, but it is what we're going to do. And now I'm going to go put gloves on because I'm getting a lot of spray on my hands. What are you doing out? Get in the house.
Hey.
Hey, what should we have?
Bill and Jerry are in town.
Bill and Jerry?
Yes. My cousins.
Oh, okay.
And so they're going to come over around 2.
Okay, have fun.
Susan's going to come over too. We're going to make some brownies and visit. Okay?
Have fun. Okay, so maybe you couldn't see it before, but you can see it now. You can already see the rust forming on this. So that's all got to be scraped and run with the wire wheel over it again. And then you can see here how those points, with that getting hot, it no longer makes connection. So that all has to be cleaned off too, and wherever it can. So we'll be doing a lot of this where we can, and we'll even get the wire wheel out, run it on there. All right, I'm not gonna do any more of that without my mask on. So that's what we're gonna do. A little bit of cleanup on that stuff. Okay, that's wearing me out. I'm gonna switch camera batteries. I'm gonna do the front side.
You're fooling yourself.
Then I'll come back and do some painting. And then we'll start talking about how I can do the seam sealer on the top, hopefully, while it's dry. And then we'll begin to get that finished up. Did find some surface rust underneath. That was not part of our project. I did hit it with the wire wheel there at the end. I'm not sure if that piece will be stuck or remain in the video or not. I don't even know if it was captured. I was on time delay, so I'm not sure if it captured everything over there. Yeah, that's it. All right, so I'm gonna go do the front and scroll across the front of that, and we'll see where we get from there. Okay, that's about as good as that's gonna get, I think. A lot of work got in, not a lot of work, excuse me, let's start over. I got as paint in as many places as I possibly could. Oh my word. What does that look like, boys and girls? Yes, rust. That's gonna be a tear down, isn't it? Okay, so that'll be like brake calipers coming off and getting cleaned up and then resprayed, and then all those dust mud shields getting resprayed again too. Great. That's all gonna get covered in rust preventative goo paint. So not worried about that stuff. Surface anyway. But that's basically it. A lot of work. I did the best I could with what I had to work with. Drastically overestimated the amount of primer I needed. So I have plenty of primer for all the other tasks like brake calipers and other rusty bits. All right, do I got paint on my face? Probably.
Yes, you did.
A lot of spraying upside down, and it came out, and good times. I think that's it. Oh, seam sealer. Oh my gosh, what were you thinking? This is a whole tube. I was using it last time. I used just part of it, but I cannot get it out because it's stuffed. So I'm going to cut the side of it, and then I'm going to use a finger paint, just like I did when I was in kindergarten. And I'm going to use as much of this on top as I can in the seams where it needs to be, and do it a very, very difficult way, because 20 bucks is 20 bucks, man. Point of this probably mostly is to keep water from coming in rather than it going down. So that's okay. Can be liberal because this stuff is wasted anyway if I don't use it. And what this will be really good for is hiding more rust. So I am confident hide a lot of rust. Very scientific method here of application called guessing. Common among people who don't know what the hell they're doing. Is it pretty? No. But does it need to be? No. Also no. Don't try this at home, folks. Do a better job than I do. finger's getting stickier as the moments go on. Okay, top's done. Is that ugly? Yes, that is terrible. But it is seam sealer, so it's supposed to be moderately seam sealingable. So we want it to be in all the cracks and crevices, so I was liberal about how I applied it. Again, I was guessing, and it's probably wrong. But that's part of the fun, right? All right, I'm gonna get underneath. Impossible to film under there. I'm gonna get underneath, put some seam sealer in some key places I think need to be sealed from the bottom. And then I'm probably gonna apply some bed liner down there over the top of everything. And again, that's a terrible lighting. That lighting is terrible. That better? Better, you look at that face. All right, that's what we're gonna do. So I'll get that done and then we'll come back and check in. Let you know if I found anything else. Okay, that's it. It's hot. It's a little hot. It's about 100 in the shop. It's probably 89 outside because this is the hot box. So I've got all the seam sealer in. Yay me. All right, I'm calling this done. That's about everything on the back side. I did find some rust underneath that was very concerning. And I found a panel on the driver's side wheel well that I did painted only one side. Yes, it had already surface rusted up. But you know what it got a big healthy coat of? Rust encapsulator.
Boom!
All right, that's what we got. Grady destroyed my mower.
I did. I don't know what happened to it. I was taking a break and then talking to some pals that came over, and then, you know, I was walking back. I was like, okay, I gotta go finish this. You know, I mowed some of it, but I saw I do the west side and the bottom of the house. I turn on, start driving it, and then I hear sheer, and then I flip off the blades or whatever, and then turn it off. And Papa goes, "That doesn't sound right. What'd you do?"
Somehow the tensioner cable that pulls the pulleys, pulls the belt tight, got hooked on one of the belt and then pulled into a pulley. So now it's gone.
The belt thing kept falling off today. The
belt thing kept falling off today. I'm not sure what I did wrong there.
And the blade just wasn't turning on.
So I'll have to figure that out. Anyway, that's all I got. Other than the axle half shaft on the Ford, which I saw a video last night of a guy replacing just the seal, not the whole axle half shaft. So more querying to occur, because I don't want to spend $250 if I don't have to. And I sure don't want to take the whole front end of that truck off. So that would be less fun. So that's all I got for this week. Thanks for tuning in. It's next week. Next week is Easter.
Yes, no, I think it's...
No, it's next week.
I thought it was on the 20th.
No, it is the 20th next week. Today's the 13th.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. All right, so Easter weekend, we have family in town, Erica's birthday, Jesus dying on the cross and all that stuff. So we will definitely be doing that. Probably will not have time for a video next weekend, but if I do get one, I'll throw it together and post it up for you. Otherwise, I'll see you on the other side.